At the moment, we have the naval shipbuilding industry in a crisis. The entire industry is in a crisis where they're waiting for work. Most of the shipyards in this country that build naval ships, Forjax in the Hunter, BAE at Williamstown, BAE Henderson, are looking at work running out in the next year. And we're looking at between 4,000 and 5,000 job losses if nothing is done, including 900 jobs going in my region of the Hunter Valley. Once lost, these jobs will be very hard to rebuild, and we will need to rebuild them, Deputy Speaker, because under the current white paper, the Royal Australian Navy will need to acquire 40 major naval vessels in the next couple of decades. And it is essential that we build most of these ships, if not all of them, here, because there is a direct link between the ability to build a naval vessel and the ability to maintain them. And as an island nation, it is essential for our national sovereignty that we can maintain our own naval vessels so that we are not dependent on any other nation in the world. Labor had a solution, Mr Deputy Speaker, and we took to the last election a proposal to bring forward the replacement of 2 supply ships and to guarantee a minimum amount of work being provided in Australia, with a real opportunity for both ships to be built entirely within this country. This would have helped Forjax, it would have helped BAE, who would have had to compete for the work but had a decent shot of overcoming the shipbuilding valley of death that they currently face. There are other options, Mr Deputy Speaker, including building a 4th air warfare destroyer, advancing the replacement of the patrol boats that have seen some operational maintenance difficulties, or beginning early construction of our frigate replacements based on a hull modelled on the AWD. All of these options are worth exploring, but we need urgent work to resolve this issue. If these shipyards, most particularly BAE in Melbourne and Forjax up at Tomago, do not receive the opportunity to bid for new contracts shortly, they will have to start making workers redundant. And this will lead to 4,000 to 5,000 direct job losses and the impact on families and communities, not to mention the impact on other communities that depend on that work, whether it's steel suppliers and other specialty subcontractors. And this is not only an economic and social impact, it will be an impact on our national defence. Once these jobs are lost, they'll be very hard to rebuild, and as an island nation, this will be a great tragedy that will reduce our national sovereignty. So I urge the new government to find a solution quickly on this. They've been briefed on this when they were in opposition. This should be a bipartisan approach. No one wants to score political points on this. We need a solution. Otherwise, we'll see thousands of jobs going, devastating communities that have already seen significant job losses, whether it's in the Hunter Valley or in Melbourne, who have seen the loss of Toyota and other industries go from that particular region. So I urge the new government to take action on this. I'll be working very closely with the employers and the unions and the workforce in my area. I've already talked to Mr Lindsay Stretton, the CEO of Forjax, a few times about this issue, and I've spoken to the Australian Manufacturing Workers Union, who represents the workers on this site. This is an important issue. I urge the government to take action, not sit on their hands, wait for a new white paper process. We need an urgent resolution now, or we will lose thousands of jobs and face a reduced national capability. Mr Deputy Speaker, this appropriations bill contains a number of initiatives. Some of them are nakedly political, like the $8.8 billion injection into the Reserve Bank in 1 year, which will see dividends paid only 6 weeks later back to the government. And it yet again demonstrates the skewed priorities of this government. It's all about superficial politics, not acting in our national interest.